Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're at 5 o'clock now, so we're right on time. Let's just start in a seated position today. Just take a minute to close your eyes if it feels safe to do so, and just begin to tune into the space, relax a little, maybe take a cleansing breath in through the nose, and exhale. And again, in through the nose gently. Exhale through the mouth, letting it all go. Let the shoulders drop down away from the ears. And really come into awareness of your seat, the earth beneath you. This week we are continuing our practice of rest as a sacred practice. And this week our focus is on breath. So I'll be sharing here in a little bit as we get moving through our practice a wave pattern breath where we'll be mimicking the waves of the ocean with our breath and finding a smooth flow between our inhale and exhale, which helps to calm our nervous system and bring us into a place of tuning into our natural rhythm of our breath and of our movement as we move through practice today. So I'd like to invite you right now just to become aware of the breath. Notice where it is right now. If it's quick, let it be quick. If it's slow, let it be slow. And we'll just take a moment here to pause as we arrive and just become aware of our breath. And drawing our awareness to any sensations that we are feeling in the body today as we arrive for our practice. Notice if there's any tightness, maybe in the hips, or tension in the shoulders. How's your jaw? Is it relaxed? Is it clenched? We're practicing non-judgment throughout our practice today about our thoughts and how we move through our physical practice. So whatever's coming up, if we're noticing something throughout our practice, just draw awareness to it, maybe cultivate some curiosity, but not worry so much about comparing ourselves to our last practice or to the person next to us. Just really tuning into our own sacred space on the four corners of your mat. And if there's likely an intention maybe you want to set for today, for your practice, maybe there's not. But if there is, go ahead and set that intention. It can be something as simple as just being present or finding a way to connect with your breath today. If nothing's coming to you, that's okay too. Maybe it will arise during your practice. When you're ready, we'll begin on our backs. So just laying down on your mat. And maybe just starting with a big stretch all the way from our fingertips to our toes. Stretching through the body. And then releasing and walking the feet in towards the hips. And we'll just begin by a windshield wiper motion. Just let both knees fall to the left a little. Come back through center. And then to the right. Nice and slow here. Just keep the hips pressed into the mat, into the earth. Just let the movement be in the legs, and there's no rush here. We're just arriving to our practice, feeling into our bodies, a little warm up. Maybe bringing the breath in here as we exhale, letting our knees fall to one side, and inhaling, drawing the knees back up through center. Exhaling, let them fall to the opposite side. Inhaling, back through center. And when you find yourself at center again, let's draw the knees in towards the chest. And you can grab on wherever you can to your clothing, the back of the thighs, the shins. And we'll give them a squeeze towards the body and maybe a gentle rock side to side. Just massaging our sacrum a little here. And interlacing the fingers or holding onto that right knee, drawing it in towards the right armpit, and extending the left leg out. Toes flex towards the body, reach the sole of the foot to the back of the groom. Really reaching through, lengthening the left leg. You can let the heel rest on the earth. You can hover, whatever feels right to you. We're just stretching through the sole of the foot. And we can even maybe point and flex. Just waking up the ankles, maybe some circles here with that left foot. And inhale, draw the left knee back in, switch to the opposite side, lengthening the right leg out. And that heel can rest on the earth or hover just above. And starting with the toes flexed towards the body, really sink the right hip down, squeeze and draw that left knee in. You can point and flex the right toes and make any circles, any movements that feel good to you here. Just preparing our bodies for the practice. And inhale, draw the right knee in, give them both a little squeeze here. And then we'll drop the feet back down to the mat. We'll cross the right ankle behind the left knee, just creating this figure 4 shape with our legs, a 90-degree angle. Perfect. And we're just tracking that right knee towards the back of the room. Opening up our right hip. Just see if you can allow the breath or imagine the breath traveling to that space of the right hip. And release, opposite side. Left ankle crossed under the right knee. Opening up the left hip. And uncross. And then we'll draw both knees in a little bit and let them fall to the right, coming into a supine twist. So you can take your blocks here and maybe place one between the knees or under the right thigh to help support you in this. Then we'll bring the arms out to a T and draw the gaze over your left fingertips. So looking beyond the left fingertips or towards the left shoulder. Finding some openness in the heart. Breathing into our bellies here. Inviting this sense of release as we breathe here into this space and this twist. Helps to detoxify our bodies. So if there's anything that we need to let go of from our day or from our week that you think you might be holding on to in this space, any tension, see if you can invite it to just soften a little here. And inhale through center. Pull the knees in. A little rock maybe, side to side, and then switching to the opposite side. Let the knees fall to the left. Using any props as needed. And bringing the arms out to a T. Gaze comes over the right fingertips. Inhaling, coming back through center. Release the props, and in whatever way is intuitive to you, come into a seated position. So we'll come into Sukhasana, easy seated pose. The practice of pranayama, breath work, connects us with our life force. Breathing is something that we do that we don't often think about, but when we draw awareness to our breath, it anchors us into our bodies and into the present moment, where it provides us an opportunity to be in touch with our natural rhythm and to find a moment of rest, of pause. So I'll be showing you the wave breath today, and it's a variation of Ujjayi breathing. So we breathe, inhale and exhale through the nose, and you'll slightly restrict the back of your throat as you do this so that it creates the sound of a wave with your breath. So I'll demonstrate. You just inhale through the nose. So you're just trying to create a sound only breathing through your nose, and it's just a little restriction in the back of the throat. So go ahead and give it a try, inhaling through the nose. Beautiful. This takes some practice, like anything else. See if you can utilize this breath throughout our practice. So we'll just do it here for about 30 seconds or so, just to kind of get the feel for it. And then we'll move into our practice. So anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, ungrounded, try coming to this breath. It doesn't have to be just for your yoga mat. It can be in traffic or when you're stressed out at work. Anytime you're feeling like you just need to ground in and center, figure out where you are, you can come to this breath. Okay, go ahead and let go of the pattern of the breath and just come into a space of noticing where your breath is naturally. Just letting that all go. When you're ready, meet me in tabletop. So you can bring your blanket to the mat if you'd like, to support your knees a little bit. That is helpful to you. I have sensitive knees, so I always use the blanket. And in tabletop, we just have our knees stacked under our hips and our wrists stacked under our shoulders. We'll press the tops of the feet into the mat and our palms into the mat, fingertips spread out here and gripping the mat with the palms of our hands and our fingertips. That takes a little bit of the weight off of our wrist. And you want to create some space in the back of your shoulders as you press into the mat and really root down here through those palms and through your knees and find some stability. Find where you feel strongest in this pose. This alignment may not work for you. Maybe you want to bring the hands out a little further or tuck the toes. Just do what feels most stable to you. And then on the inhale, we're going to drop the belly, the tailbone rises, and our heart center comes forward, and we look skyward. Exhaling, we press into the mat, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, and gaze towards our navel. Inhaling, coming into cow, dropping the belly, tailbone rises, heart center forward. Exhale, press into the earth, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, Move through these at your own pace. Maybe come back to the ocean breath if that feels good to you. Just connecting our breath with our movement here. And begin to just feel into the corners of your body, the shoulders, the hips, feel into the neck. And you can circle through the hips, taking some more atypical movements, maybe making a figure 8 or rolling the rib cage or just letting the head hang heavy. Whatever feels good to you here. This is just a couple of minutes of free flowing movement for you to check in. When you're ready, we'll come back through tabletop. And then we're going to extend this left leg out to the side. And we can stay here, or we can walk the hands over, bringing the right hand to the right side. Inhaling and drawing that left arm up, coming into gate pose. And you can also use a block here to come up a little higher, have a little more support if that feels good to you. I'm just stretching through the left side here. Take 5 breaths. And on the exhale, circle back around through center. Place the hands and then swing that left leg around, coming back through tabletop. We'll just take a brief child's pose here. Bring the big toes together, knees towards the edges of the mat. Send the hips back towards the heels. Walk the hands out in front of you towards the top of your mat. And just let the body rest on the earth, forehead to the mat. Take 3 breaths here. Deep into the belly, exhaling, letting the hips sink down. Gaze comes towards the fingertips. Shift the weight forward and come back into tabletop. We'll take gate pose on the opposite side, so bringing that right foot out. And then placing your block, if you'd like it, over on the left side, and we'll walk the hands over. Inhaling, sweeping that right arm up, extending, opening the heart space, reaching the fingertips, really pressing through the pinky toe side of your foot into the earth. 5 breaths here. Exhale, sweep that right arm down, placing the hands under the shoulders. Sweep the right foot back. And we'll tuck the toes here and press back, lifting the knees and coming into our first downward dog. Don't worry so much about your heels touching the earth. Here we want our knees bent a little, as much as you need. And we're drawing our chest towards the thighs. So lifting the hips, pressing the chest through, pressing into the mat with our hands. Bend the knees as much as you need. Gaze comes towards the hands and we'll just walk the feet forward here. Tiptoeing. You can move your blanket out of the way. And then we'll come to the top of our mat. Just have our feet hip distance apart. And let the spine round and let the crown reach towards the floor. You can grab either elbow. Keep the knees bent generously here. And just allow yourself to dangle here. Releasing the back. Rooting down through the soles of the feet, through the heels. And inhaling slowly, one vertebrae at a time, slowly coming up as you press into the earth, press into the mat. And as you reach the top, roll the shoulders back, opening the heart space, finding mountain. Make any adjustments that you need. If your feet are out of alignment, bring them underneath the hips and just roll the shoulders and tuck the tailbone down. Reach the crown of the head towards the sky. Just ground in here to the corners of your feet. Maybe lift the toes a little, shifting the weight back gently towards the heels and the ball mound of the toes. Breathing here. Let's just come back to our intention if you set the one at the beginning of the practice. Taking a moment to ground here, to breathe. Next, we'll take a variation of chair pose. It's a dynamic chair pose, so we'll be creating movement with our breath, and you can use the ocean wave breath if you want, or just let your breath flow naturally. And chair pose, a static chair pose, as we inhale, we bring the arms up by the ears, and then we sit back like we're in a chair. So here we're going to inhale that way, inhaling, coming into chair, and then immediately exhale, push the earth away. Inhaling, chair, exhaling, pressing into the earth, coming back to standing. Really sink the hips down, biceps squeeze towards the ears. 3 more. Last one. Coming back into mountain to reset. Inhale, we'll circle, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Place the hands on the shins or the thighs, wherever you are. Reach the crown forward, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold forward, plant the hands, step the right foot back, and lower the knee down to the mat. You can bring your blanket back here if you'd like. And we'll walk the hands to the inside of the left foot. Just a gentle lunge here. Doesn't have to be very deep. You can also stay upright with the fingers interlaced behind the left knee. And walk that left foot back, finding yourself in tabletop again. And bringing the right foot forward for that same lunge. Walking the foot forward to come to the outside of the hands. And coming into that upright position or with the hands to the mat. Totally up to you. Take 5 breaths here. Walk the right foot back, coming into tabletop. Let's lower all the way down to the mat. Bringing our bellies to the mat. Place the hands just behind the shoulders here. Inhale, lift the chest, tuck the elbows in for cobra. Exhale, bring the chest to the mat. Inhale, pressing in with the hands. Exhale, right ear to the mat. Inhale, pressing into the mat, cobra, left ear to the mat. Inhaling, coming back through center, walk the hands out, come to rest on the elbows and Sphinx. Press the forearms into the earth, elbows under the shoulders, or you can walk them out to the edges of your mat. If this is too much on the lower back for you, you can also just cross your forearms at the top of the mat and rest your forehead. In Sphinx, we are drawing the shoulder blades together, letting go of any tension in our hips, any need to hold our thighs or our glutes, and just allow the lower body to be held here by the floor beneath you. And we're pressing into the forearms, drawing the shoulder blades together to shine our heart space forward. And your gaze can come between the hands. You can let your head hang heavy, or you can look slightly forward and skyward. We'll just spend a minute or two here, breathing into the heart space. Exhale, lower all the way down if you aren't there already. Crossing the forearms and just letting your forehead rest. We'll take a variation of thread the needle from Sphinx pose. Bring your block to the top of your mat. Reach the left arm out and thread the right arm through, coming to rest on the right shoulder. And you can bring your head to the block for support. And here we're just opening up the right shoulder. Just allowing the breath to soften that space. Letting go of any tension from our day. Draw the left hand under the shoulder, pressing into the mat, unwind, coming back through center, just pausing before moving to the opposite side. So we're just taking a couple of breaths here. Then we'll bring the right hand out towards the top of the mat, pressing into the floor and feeding that left arm through. Resting your head on the block if you'd like. And just being curious about the back side of our left shoulder, any sensations. See if you can invite it to rest a little. Right hand under the right shoulder, unwinding,
Coming back through center and then making your way to laying on your back on the mat with your head facing the front of the room. And keep your blocks close by. We'll bring the soles of our feet together and let the knees fall open for Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose. You can place the blocks under your thighs or your knees to support you here. Sometimes it can be a little intense on the hips if we just let the knees fall with gravity, but it's totally up to you. That's an option as well. We're tucking the chin in towards the chest here to create some length in the back of the neck. Bringing the arms out to the sides or resting them on the rib cage. Taking a cleansing breath in through the nose. Exhaling, letting it all go. And just allow the breath to flow organically. If it feels good to you to close your eyes here, you can. Feeling that release or that stretch on the inner thighs. And breathing deeply into the belly here, inviting softness and ease with the breath. Noticing what it's like to just pause and breathe. To be intentional about where our energy is flowing. You can feel free to stay here or to come into Shavasana, just laying down or laying in a comfortable position for you. The last portion of this class is the meditation. So this will just be a guided meditation. You can tune in if you want to. If you can't follow it, that's okay. If you don't want to, that's okay. You can just use this time to integrate. But we'll just find a comfortable position if that's Shavasana for you, laying down with the legs out long, let the feet fall open. If you want to use props to support you, have the knees bent, whatever feels right in this moment. And wherever you are, just taking a moment here to let go
Anything that did or didn't happen today as expected during this practice, to come into awareness of the earth beneath you, of your mat, the floor supporting you. Let each exhale guide you into a place of rest. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere in the body that is not needed. Invite it to release. You can come back to your intention one last time if you set one at the beginning of your practice. And if you lost it along the way, that's okay. I'll invite you here to come back to the wave breath, gently inhaling and exhaling through the nose, bringing some shape and sound to the breath. Inhaling, inviting a sense of peace and calm. Exhaling, letting go of anything you wish to release here in this space. And maybe envisioning yourself in a place where you can view the ocean waves, standing on the bluff, looking out, walking across the cool sand or warm sand. Notice the pattern of the waves. It matches the pattern of your breath. Identify with the effortlessness of the ocean. Every inhale and exhale, a gentle dance. Letting go of the shape of the breath, turning our gaze inward. Can you notice the waves of the breath within you? Imagining maybe the waves crashing in the shores of the areas in your body, holding any dense energies that need to be released. Any thoughts, outdated patterns. Today is a full moon. And while this is not a full moon focused practice, it is the energy that is guiding the ocean within us. It's a time of fullness. Can you feel the fullness of the power of the ocean within you, guided by the breath? Think of standing next to this immense body of water, feeling the power of each wave crashing on the shores. If there is something you wish to release, let the power of the ocean, let the power of the waves carry it out, letting it go, coming into a place of rest here. Allowing yourself to drift a little, to let the mind dream and wander, to be curious about this next season, this next chapter. Begin to deepen the breath. Bring some movement to the fingers and toes. Whenever you're ready, coming into a seated position. We'll just take a moment here with our hands over the heart center or in prayer pose. And just finding a moment of gratitude here for carving out this time and space to be away from the outside world, to tune into our inner world, to connect with the depths of our ocean, to breathe and to rest. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for people to practice with and bodies that can move through this practice in any way today. It is my wish that you carry this benefit with you and this practice throughout the rest of your evening. Satnam, may you align with your favorite version